We are live. Hello, everybody. How you doing? I'm very excited to be joining you this morning. It's going to be value-packed because I realized that what we're doing today is I'm going to share not one, not two, but 3 easy hacks for overcoming negative money thoughts. I'm like, I turned this into a little mini masterclass rather than a just Magnetic Monday chat with a little bit of a handy tip at the end. So stay tuned. I'm still going to keep it short, sharp and shiny. I'm aiming for 20 minutes. I'm going to just, tighten that up a little bit. The last couple of calls have been 30, but I'd like to get them down to 20 minutes because that way, anytime you see me go live, it means you can just jump on, know it's 20 minutes and, get some really great value, have a bit of a chat and off you go and get on with your day. Really funny thing just happened as I was going live. Like I went to put my hair back and I put my fingers into my earrings and pulled them both out of my ears. So the earring backs have gone spraying across the room. I'm going to be crawling around on the floor after this call, trying to find them. Anyway, just a funny story. So if you're watching me, say hello. Say hello. Tell me who's watching. Hey, Bronya, I'm going live via StreamYard. So if you are in the Facebook group, in the Manifesting Circle Facebook group, hello. What you need to do if you're watching along in the Manifesting Circle Facebook group, which is a beautiful online community for soulful women in business, is you need to just give Facebook permission so that I can see your name when you comment, and so that when I share your comment up on the screen, you can actually see it like that, like Bronya's. So what I'd love you to do, wherever you're watching along, I'm also going live on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook page. We're just, popping it up everywhere so it's easy for people to see. Jacqueline is here. Hello, Jacqueline. Sharon is here. Tell us a little bit, take the opportunity, tell us a little bit about your business. Tell us what you do. Let me give you a little bit of a structure around that. Tell us in, if you can, 8 words or less, what your zone of genius is. What is that amazing thing that you do in your business in your own unique, special way? So let me pop that challenge down for you. And let's start chatting about, while those of you who are here watching live do that, let's start chatting about negative money thoughts. We all have them. I have them. And usually they're disguised as worry. And the thing with worry is that we get really used to it. It kind of becomes this background thing. Hey, Charlene, lovely to see you. Tell us what your zone of genius is, Charlene, in 8 words or less. I don't know where I came up with 8. I decided 8 was the number for the day. So the thing with humans is we're really good at getting used to living with discomfort. It's like that story of the dog sleeping on a nail. And, the nail's in its bed and it's just wriggling all night. But it won't just get up and go sleep somewhere else. It would rather stay there and just keep wriggling. And we get a bit like that. We get really used to discomfort and we get used to kind of adjusting for it so that, we're comfortable being uncomfortable. And then we just live with it. And the thing when you've got these constant negative money thoughts or money worries spinning in the back of your mind, it becomes like we tune it out, like you kind of do background music in the supermarket or something like that. But it becomes this constant underlying vibrational tone. And so then even though you might be on the surface of it, busy, doing all the things you need to do or you want to do and you should be doing to really have a great life and to get in alignment with abundance so things can flow and you can feel really in tune and, get access to inspiration and all these wonderful things. If there's this constant undercurrent in the background of negative thoughts and money worries, and which is all around abundance and worthiness and your ability to tap into that unlimited abundance, then it's going to constantly undermine all the efforts that you're making. Now, just want to show you this. So this is somebody in the Facebook group, and because I'm on StreamYard, I can't see who you are, and I really want to know. So I've popped it into, if you scroll back to the top of the post, the video post or the top of the comments, I've actually popped the link for you. It's just streamyard.com/Facebook, and you give me permission to see your name, and then I'll be able to see who it is because I really want to know. So yeah, being in the moment helps you manage your thoughts. So if you've got little hacks of how you manage when, you know, those money worries creep up and you become aware of them, let me know. And what I'm going to do as we kind of chat and go through it, we can workshop it a little bit. Like you can give me some examples or go, you know, what about this? So I'm totally happy to do that. What I want to do is I'm going to give you 3 hacks, and I'm going to lay them out for you in order of how early in the process you catch them, right? Because when you've got that, like I said, when you've got that negative vibration going in the background and you get so used to it that you don't even notice it's happening, then it's Marie, ha ha ha, cool. See, I can see you now, Marie. Yeah, when you get so used to it, the thing is it's there, but it's not just there at that level. It actually builds momentum like everything else. You know, that's what law of attraction is all about. It's all about momentum. And so anything that is going for a period of time has the opportunity to really build up in power and strength. So when you're constantly having these kinds of negative money thoughts and money worries, they build up momentum, right? And so then you're busy trying to increase, you know, your abundance vibration and your alignment. But that thing, because it's going the whole time in the background, that's building momentum and getting stronger and stronger. And that's why it can often feel like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And that's why it can feel like, you know, you're not really getting anywhere, or just as you're starting to get somewhere, you know, the bottom drops out. So you've got to be aware that that stuff, even though you try to quash it and override it, if it's going on for a period of time, it will build momentum, it will build strength. And that's why, you know, people hit upper limits and things like that, because it's like, oh, as you build momentum and you try and move forward, that thing also kicks in and throws you off your bike. So that's why I want to give you 3 sort of hacks that are at different levels of momentum, basically, because ideally you want to catch it really, really early. You know, in a perfect world, we wouldn't have money worries, or we would, you know, notice them consciously coming up and just be able to deal with them really quickly and move on and get back to being in alignment with abundance. So that's the ideal. Now, a really simple hack to help you do that. So we're going to start there, which is kind of both the easy and the tricky part, because when you're used to it just kicking in and you living with it, then it can sometimes take a while before you go, oh, crap, you know, how long have I been doing that for? Oh, that's right. It started when I got in the shower this morning and I haven't stopped yet. But practice makes perfect. So it is sometimes the trickiest place to start if you've got momentum going or you're really used to it, but it's also the best place to start because prevention is better than the cure. So starting early and kind of avoiding even going there is the best scenario, right? And the best way that you can train yourself to do that is to crowd it out. So our brain, our mind only has so much capacity. It can only do so much at once, and it can only focus on so many things at the same time. So you want to use that to your advantage and basically crowd out the negative by consciously getting in the habit of focusing on the positive, the things that do support your alignment, the things that do show you how much abundance and opportunity and good stuff you actually have available in your life. Because not only is it a case of what you focus on expands, but what you focus on takes over your world, because you kind of start ignoring everything else, and that thing, as well as you adding momentum to it and attracting more things like it, but that thing actually then looks to you like that's all there is. You know, it's that target fixation thing where you're so micro-focused on that one thing that's gone wrong or that one person that said something that upset you, and it's just taken over. But there is so much other stuff going on at the same time, and there's so much good stuff going on at the same time. So if you can train yourself to keep focusing on the good stuff and make that your predominant habit, then there's a lot less bandwidth available for you to focus on the negative. So that is why, Jackie loves it, that is why in Magnetic Money, we have a key for each module of Magnetic Money. And one of them is #evidence. And it's about focusing on the evidence, like the actual physical, tangible evidence of all the abundance you do have in your life. And that needs to become a habit. It needs to become a habit where, when there's 10 things going on for you and one of them kind of turn to shit, instead of focusing and obsessing over and perseverating and adding momentum to that one, you learn how to focus on and celebrate the 9 things that are going really well and give that last one, the one that didn't turn out so well, as little bandwidth as possible. Because, #guilty in the chat box, please. If you know that when there's 10 things going on and 9 are going well, your tendency is to try and fix that one that didn't go well, or to think about it, or to try and sort it out, or to be upset about it, or to constantly replay it in your brain, and that's just a habit. And it's a habit that doesn't serve you. So the first hack that I wanted to share with you is to train yourself, because that's what it is, and develop a new habit of focusing on what is going well. So even if you're not in Magnetic Money, use the #evidence. Use it in your journal. Use it, like, get a buddy in the group, and use it frequently. And speaking of buddies, Marie, awesome. I've realized over the past 3 days I've been stuck on focusing on someone else's BS. Exactly. It's crazy, isn't it, how easy it is for that to get away from us. And as we focus on it, and Angela says guilty as well, and as we focus on it, it builds momentum. And as it builds momentum, it gets trickier and trickier to let go of it. And that's why it can feel so hard to turn the tide, because momentum builds. So that's why I'm giving you that one as the first hack, because if you don't go there in the first place, or you train yourself to have as little bandwidth available for that sort of stuff, then the momentum can't build. Make sense? Now, speaking about, because I just said buddies, and it reminded me, for the next 2 weeks, I'm not going to run a Magnetic Monday call, because next week is Easter, and the week after that, we're playing 5-day money magnets, which we do play in the manifesting circle, and we do buddy up. And so once you get yourself a buddy, you can keep doing what we do in 5-day money magnets, which is all about learning to focus on abundance and keep tuning yourself and becoming more self-aware. And the 2 of you can then also go, be my #evidence buddy. I'm going to report into you every day and let you know the evidence of abundance that I can see all around me. And it's a habit building thing. It's like exercising any muscle. You've got to keep doing it. And the beginning is always the most tricky thing, because it's new, right? Okay, so that's that first little hack that I wanted to share. And like I said, that one's really ideal for prevention. So you want to get in that habit, because as you build that habit, then you don't need to find yourself in a place where you go, oops, that's been going on for 3 days. You don't need to find yourself in that place. But we're human, and stuff's going to slip through, and momentum will start to build. So the next one I'm going to give you, the second hack, is for stopping the momentum from gathering and getting too, out in front of you, from getting away from you. And it's one that taps into the way your mind naturally works. So if you've ever tried to stop any bad habit, you'll know that it's really, really hard. And it's the reason it's really hard is because momentum has built. And, even in terms of your nervous system, that neural pathway has become a really strong, predominant one that fires kind of automatically. That's what a habit is. It's kind of a neural pathway that just fires automatically, instantly, without you having to really think about it. Your unconscious mind has taken over. So willpower is really hard. And if you catch yourself, obsessing over somebody else's BS for 3 days and you go, oh my God, I need to stop, I need to stop, I need to stop, you're going to find that difficult because of the momentum that's built and because you're creating resistance. And when you try to stop, you actually add more energy to it. So if we sort of understand how the mind works and how the conscious and unconscious mind interact, the unconscious mind is that lightning speed part of you that just fires. And then you go, oh crap, that just totally happened so fast I didn't even realize. That's because that's how your unconscious mind works. Your conscious mind's a lot slower than that. It has to think things through. So the conscious mind is used to waiting. Sorry, the unconscious mind is used to waiting for the conscious mind to catch up. So instead of going, no, I'm not going to go there, with a pattern interrupt, what you do is you go in a minute. So you recognize that it's happening. You recognize that, there's that thing that started, and you go, instead of fighting it, you go, oh, in a minute, I'm going to obsess about that some more in a minute. I'm going to worry about that some more in a minute. Right now, I'm just going to go do something else. So when you approach it like that, rather than going, no, I've got to stop that, that's really bad for me, I'm going to attract all sorts of other negative things and I don't want that, and you start getting all freaked out, instead of going there, you just go, oh, yeah, I'll keep worrying in a minute. I just got to go do something. And your unconscious mind is used to that. Your unconscious mind is used to having to wait for your conscious mind to catch up. So it doesn't create all this resistance and, clash of energies. And then all you need to do is go distract yourself with something else for 2 minutes. 2 minutes is enough. And what that does is it weakens that neural pathway. So, that neural pathway that's used to just spinning in worry, or, obsessing over what happened or what somebody else did or said, that neural pathway starts to weaken. And it starts to weaken significantly when you just delay and distract for 2 minutes. Even if you still go ahead and continue the worrying after that 2 minutes, you have still weakened it. So it's a really good trick. It's a great way for people who want to stop smoking to go, oh, I'll have a cigarette in a minute, and they go distract themselves for 2 minutes. It really, really weakens that habit. And it's a great little hack for stopping any unhelpful habit. So delay and distract. Now, that's a pattern interrupt. So a pattern interrupt can be all sorts of things. You can use physical pattern interrupts. They're really great because you get out of your mind and into your body. So in that 2 minutes, what you can do is you can go do some star jumps or some sit-ups or some push-ups or go for a walk around the block or just stand outside and hug a tree, anything to kind of reconnect to your physical body, which is the home of your unconscious mind, and get out of this part, which is just spinning and going in circles. So they're some of my favorite pattern interrupts. Now, I will quickly say, please don't throw in affirmations. Please, I know you want to. I know you're going to try and get away with it. Give me some examples of pattern interrupts, but please just don't. Trust me, it doesn't help, because an affirmation is basically at that point in time where you've got that momentum up, it's the same thing as you going, no, I am abundant, abundance flows to me constantly, everything's great, the universe loves me. And it's like you trying to, it doesn't work. Just take my word for it. I'm not going to go on the whole big long explanation, but it doesn't work. It's just you trying to get away with what I just said doesn't work. So this is not the time for an affirmation. My way of using affirmations is when something is working really well, like when you've got that hashtag evidence moment in front of you, then throw in an affirmation and go, see, everything is always working out for me. See, the universe does have my back, because it reinforces where you've got physical, tangible evidence in front of you of in that moment. But throwing an affirmation in when things have turned to shit and you're trying to steer the ship away from hitting the iceberg, it doesn't work. It's the same as you trying to use willpower. It just creates this clash of energies. And that's just not the time. So pattern interrupts are things that are getting totally off the topic. Go scroll Facebook or Instagram, go hug a tree, do some star jumps, play with your kids, do something like that. If you've got ideas and suggestions about pattern interrupts, chuck them in the chat box and I'll let you know whether it's you trying to get away with an affirmation. It is not you trying to throw in an affirmation. It doesn't even have to be verbal. It can be verbal, like it can be, actually, let me just make it easy for you. Don't make it verbal. I changed my mind. Because anytime that we try to make it a verbal pattern interrupt, the tendency is to go towards something that's an affirmation kind of thing. So just go distract yourself. I know you're really good at that. I know lots of ways that we can distract ourselves and that we do constantly. Okay, that's I'm not going to do a affirmations rant. So let's go on to hack number 3. And yes, pattern interrupt examples. Just give them to me in the chat box. Just put pattern interrupt so I know in case it comes through later when I'm talking about something different. And give me your suggestions. Now, the third one I want to give you is what I call the judo move. And the judo move is when you flip a vibration. And this is actually based on an Abraham Hicks process. Abraham Hicks, fantastic, lots of processes to play with there. And I call it the judo move because it's the one that you want to use when there is quite a bit of momentum up and running, and you actually use the momentum in your favor. So the pattern interrupt is what you use when things are just getting moving, just starting to get moving. And it's a way that you actually stop the momentum from getting to the stage where, it's really got some, some oomph behind it. And incidentally, as a side note, have you noticed that the pattern interrupt is very much like our switch and ditch hashtag in the manifesting circle that we have every Wednesday? Because the manifesting circle hashtags are actually a weekly manifesting exercise for those of you who didn't realize. So it's there for you every single week. It's ditch and switch, pattern interrupt, delay, distract. So the delay, distract, the pattern interrupt is for really early on. So we talked about prevention with crowding it out by noticing all the abundance you do have. Then we talked about what do you do when you notice that you've already started, but it's still early enough that you can catch it with a pattern interrupt. That's cool. Now let's move on to what about when there's actually quite a bit of momentum going and the pattern interrupt is, just kind of gets flicked off the side because is that all you've got? I've got some momentum going here, and your negative worries and thoughts just keep steamrolling ahead. So you can try the flip a vibration move, which I call the judo move, where you use the momentum against itself. I'm going to explain that in a moment. I want to just read this comment. So, Leanna, how do you discern between running away from something and a pattern interrupt? Very good question, Leanna. So, there is I'm going to say it and then I'll explain it. There is really no such thing as running away from a negative vibration. There is only recognizing that negative vibrations aren't going to serve you. They're not going to help you solve a problem. They're not going to help you tune into the solution. So you choose to step away from it because you know that it's leading you nowhere, right? So worrying about money isn't going to help solve your money worries. It's not a resourceful place to be in. All it does is it upsets you. It lowers your vibration even more. It disconnects you from all the abundance that is available to you. It disconnects you from the ability to tune into solutions and ways to turn things around. It makes you feel like, your options are closed. It makes you too afraid to try something or do something proactive about it. So it's just not a resourceful place to be. And so worrying doesn't fix anything. So we're not running away from worry. We're just saying worry isn't going to help me solve this. So I'm going to move away from worry and I'm going to stop that pattern and then start looking for solutions. Because when you're focused on the problem, you can't see the solutions. So a much more resourceful approach is how can I start to X, Y, Z, whatever it is you want to do? When you're in that place, you're not worrying. You're not, catastrophizing and going, oh my God, my business is doomed. What was I thinking? My dad was right. Blah, blah, blah. You're not in that space. You're in a space of, let's have a look and be open to solutions and ways that I can move forward. Like, what are resources available to me? Who are some people that I can connect with? Like, who can help me move into, a more positive pattern and start to figure this stuff out? So it's about actually getting out of being stuck, because being stuck is never going to move you forward. I think that answers the question. I'm quite happy with how I answered that one. And Bronya, when I was taught pattern interrupts, they made us put an elastic band. Yeah, see, I have an opinion about that. And you know what? Because this is my Magnetic Monday call, my page, my YouTube channel, and the group that I administrate, I'm going to give it to you straight of what I think of that. I see that as a form of self-harm. I was shown that too by psychologists. And, it is a pattern interrupt and it does work. But the thing is, you're punishing yourself for it. So I'm actually, like, as time's gone on and I've thought about that a little bit more, I'm like, that's just a horrible thing to do. Like, what if I said to you, every time you catch yourself worrying about money, I want you to slap yourself in the face? Because it's not that different, right? And what you're doing is you're overriding a mental pain with a physical pain by flinging yourself with a rubber band, like you're trying to override it. So, yeah, so that's my opinion about that. I don't know if you agree with that opinion or not, Bronya, but that's my opinion on that. I just think that there are much healthier ways that don't teach us that to override a mental or emotional pain, a physical pain's a really good way to go. I'm like, who came up with this? Surely there are better ways, right? Yeah, I thought you would agree, because you and I don't think like that. Because when I first heard that, I was like, oh yeah, it really works. And then I started getting a welt on my wrist and I'm like, shit, I'm like self-harming here, because, I've seen people who cut themselves and it was starting to look a bit like that. And I thought, because I was really having some negative thoughts at the time. And that's just, yeah. Okay. I'm going to let that one go too, because I think my 20 minutes are up, because I decided to do 3 hacks in 20 minutes and talk about some things that I get very ranty and passionate about. So anyway, so we were talking about the judo move, right? So what do you do once a bit more momentum has built? Now, this is actually one that we teach in Magnetic Money and we go more in depth, but I'm just going to give you kind of the quick 3 steps and the headline, and you can play with it from there. So it's called flip a vibration, and I want you to think of it as a judo move. So I know nothing about judo other than when you flip an opponent, it's not because you're so damn strong. It's because you know how to use their momentum and switch it. And that's what we do here. So flipping a vibration, it is how to use the momentum against itself, and it is a way to put an end to something that's already got emotion with it. That's, it's the mind has kicked in and dragged your emotional body along, and now you're feeling pretty crap about it. So that's when you want to use it. So see how we stage the 3 hacks across the 3 sort of stages. So this is how it goes. You've got to, first of all, recognize there's momentum going. So this is about facing your opponent and going, I see you. You're coming at me 100 miles an hour. So the way I do it is I write down, I'm feeling really, and I say it like I might say, I'm feeling really pissed off or really stressed out or really whatever. And you don't sugarcoat it about whatever the situation is. So I'm feeling really stressed out about the slow income month I've had, whatever it is. Write that down. I'm feeling really stressed out, or I'm feeling really worried, and really state it. And then you do the judo move, because the next line is the flip, and you basically just write, and do this in writing because it is a lot more powerful than just saying it or thinking it. So the next line is the flip, and it goes, and if that were not the case, I would feel. And if that were not the case, I would feel. That's the flip, because what that does is it makes you go, whoa, here they come, and flip. And if they were like lying on their ass, I would feel, and it allows you to then step into a space of seeing what's on the other side of that worry. And what your work then is, once you go through that one line, is you dive into and immerse yourself into as many feelings and good things that are on the other side of that flip as possible. And you just stay with it and you enjoy it. So you go, and if that were not the case, I would feel, give them to me in the chat box, people. How would you feel? So we've said, I feel really stressed and worried about the shitty income month I've just had in my business. And if that were not the case, I would feel, go in the chat box. And I'm going to verbally add to it as well. I would feel relieved. I would feel more confident. I would feel excited. I would feel comfortable. I would feel positive. I would feel like there's plenty of opportunities. I would feel like I want to go and talk about my business some more. I would feel proud of myself. I would feel free and abundant. I would feel confident and dynamic and momentum. Yeah. So you start wherever you can and you feel, and you allow yourself to start to feel those feelings, and you let the next one come and the next one come. So we're starting to build positive momentum and you allow it to build. Your job is just to do the best you can to stay in that feeling and to let the next one come and to let the next one come. And you start to build positive momentum. And when you do this, after you've been going for like a couple of minutes, because it is just another version of delay and distract, notice that. But, it's a specific way of doing it. After you've been doing that for a couple of minutes, you'll be in a totally different headspace. You will be in a totally different headspace. And you go, oh, yeah, that's right. I'm feeling really good right now. And it all started because I was feeling worried and stressed. Isn't that interesting? And isn't it interesting that only a couple of minutes have passed and you're exactly the same person, the world is still spinning in exactly the same way it was, and you're feeling totally different, and that your vibration is that much in your control, which means your whole life is that much in your control. I had a post go up on my Insta the other day, and it was pre-scheduled, and I read it and I was like, that is so good. Who wrote that? Oh, me. And it basically said that you tune the world with your vibration. You tune the world around you with your vibration, and your vibration is utterly and totally in your hands. So, by using that flipper vibration technique, that judo move, you can go from feeling crappy to feeling fantastic in just a couple of minutes and start to really shift things. And things will shift. As soon as you shift internally how you feel, your world changes. Cool. So did you like those hacks? Did you enjoy them? So I'm going to let you go now. I have been going for half an hour. This was not the right one to say. I'm going to start chopping them back to 20 minutes because I had a lot of stuff I wanted to cover. What I might even do is in future Magnetic Monday calls, just cover maybe just one of those in a bit more detail and workshop it a little bit. Now, before I go, I'm not going to be doing a Magnetic Monday next week because it's Easter Monday. And the week after that, join us for 5-day money magnets. Now, I've got the actual registration link here for you. Oh God, that's a horrible typo, Miriam. So join us for 5-day money magnets. If you've never played before, 5-day money magnets is where we get together for 5 days. We play in the Manifesting Circle Facebook group. That's where we all support each other. And we do one golden nugget hack each day. So each day we do one thing that helps you really increase your self-awareness, because notice today as we're talking, it's about recognizing where you're at and recognizing what's going on and then being able to work with it from there. So in 5-day money magnets, we become more self-aware. We start tuning to that vibration of abundance. We start to face some of the gremlins and we start to really heal that relationship with money. So, it's a 5-day experience. I don't call it a challenge because it's a joy. It's a 5-day experience that really lets you see what some of the key elements are that need to come together for you to shift and transform your relationship with money. I'm running this. This is the first round I've run in 10 months. I know, I've really missed it. And I'm running this in the lead up to launching the Magnetic Money Club, because we're changing Magnetic Money just a little bit in the format to support you even more. So the format of Magnetic Money is changing. We're launching the Magnetic Money Club. And as part of the lead up to that, I'm running a round of 5-day money magnets. It starts on April 12th. It's totally free. I've popped the link to register in the chat here. So jump on that, join us. It is really cool. Some really, really amazing stuff has come out of 5-day money magnets. You know, for a lot of people, it's been really the change of a huge transformational journey in their relationship with money and in their, you know, starting to live in a perpetual state of abundance, because abundance is not about a number of dollars in your bank account. Abundance is about a state of being. It's about how you feel. And the money comes as a natural result of that. So that's what we do in 5-day money magnets. We really start looking at all of that. It's really cool. So daily support calls, daily email, which is why you need to register so that you get that daily golden nugget and the daily task that we do. And then we get together on a live support call each and every day and share and support each other in the Facebook group. Super cool. Starts April 12th. Okay, I'm going to love you and leave you, beautiful ladies. Thank you for joining me for today's Magnetic Monday call. I really, really love doing this. And I will see you for another one of these. I don't know what the date is off the top of my head, but it'll be after 5-day money magnets. So I'll see you for that first. Have a beautiful day. Embrace that unlimited potential of yours. It is right there, right there. Maybe on the other side of a little pattern interrupt or a flip of vibration, but you know what? That is right there. See ya.